Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Jackie and I am forever faithful. Thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. Hope everyone is well out there and having a great holiday season. We are ending 2021 and embarking on 2022. And I just have a really strong sense of that in 2022 that we as humans will have to rely on our instincts heavily because things are not going to make sense. We've already had a taste of that in the past 2 years. So I just kind of wanted to share a few stories about how my instincts saved my life. First, the definition of instinct is inborn impulse or motivation, action, a natural desire or tendency that makes you want to act in a particular way. So it's basically an inborn. So you're born with the impulse guidance system, as I call it, my GPS system, which is my God protection system. It's an inborn impulse or motivation to take action, right? And then there's faith, which is complete trust and confidence in something or someone. So for me, it's a never-ending process, but I still learning that my faith and my instincts are attached to each other. Because I have to have complete trust that my gut feeling, my instincts, my first thought is right, because I connect my instincts to the divine creator. So let me tell you about the time that I was sitting in traffic. Well, I wasn't in traffic, but I was at a red light. And I've had the habit of running lights all the time. I'm a fast driver, and it was just natural for me to run yellow lights, right? So this particular day, it was actually around 6 or 7 in the evening, dusk. I was at a red light, and I was driving, and then I was approaching a red light, and I heard this voice tell me to stop, because I was asking myself, am I going to run this light, or am I going to just slow down and stop? I thought to myself, well, why am I rushing? Because I'm not rushing to get anywhere. I'm not scheduled to be anywhere. But so I decided to stop. And I'm so glad that I did, because there was a guy behind me. And I guess he assumed that I was going to run the light. But I didn't. So, of course, I stopped, and he had to stop behind me. Well, he wasn't pleased with that. Actually, he honked his horn at me to keep going, right? But I didn't. So by this time, the light had already turned from yellow to red. He came from behind me. He drove beside me and then proceeded to run the red light. And as soon as he went through the light, this guy was T-boned, like within a matter of a second or two. He was hit really hard by an incoming traffic, another car, and I knew instantly when he was hit, I was like, that would have been me. That would have been me. It was really bad because it hit him so hard that his door was completely damaged. He couldn't get out of it if he wanted it to. Two, the car, his vehicle, was actually smoking that he was hit so hard. And it actually hit him hard enough that it kind of hit him into another lane. All I know is that I heard a voice as I was trying to decide whether or not to run this light, this red light, telling me not to, and I didn't. But the gentleman behind me decided to run the red light, and he was hit. I know his car was totaled after that, and I can only assume he was hurt pretty badly because of the damage done to the driver's side of the vehicle. So that was just one incident that actually saved my life. Another one where I was driving down the highway. It wasn't crowded. Traffic was flowing freely, easily, no problems. And once again, I've had a habit of speeding a lot. I don't get speeding tickets, but during that time I was speeding a lot. Anyway, so I'm on the highway and I'm driving into the city, and I'm like, something came over me. It was just telling me to slow down, to slow down. I didn't quite understand why, but I began to slow down. There was a couple of vehicles, maybe 2 or 3 vehicles in front of me. And this is probably like a 5-lane highway. And as soon as I began to slow down and take my time driving, because once again, I'm not in a rush, I saw this truck lose its tire as it was driving, and it had to get over from the far left lane over to the right lane to access the shoulder, right, of the highway. Had I been going as fast as I was prior to hearing the voice to slow down, it could have been a lot worse, meaning the tire that came off the vehicle in front of me was heading in my direction. But I was able to move over into another lane, so it didn't hit me. The tire didn't hit me. And at the same time, the truck realized that it has lost the tire and that it really needs to get over to the shoulder of the highway, which is basically crossing 4 lanes on a busy, fast-moving highway. And I know that it was divine intervention because, to my knowledge, I didn't see anyone get hit by the tire. And the truck was able to cross over 4 lanes to get to the shoulder of the highway without any accidents. It's those little faint, soft voices that I actually listen to that I believe actually saved my life. Because had I not listened, then that would have been an entire different story, and I may not even be here to tell these stories right now. So me listening to the voice, trusting my instincts, and having faith that what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing is truth. Now, the last story was one that still kind of it still bothers me a little bit. Because for years I never could understand why this took place. What I'm about to share with you. Why did this take place? So once again, I'm leaving work. I am on the highway. It's a weekday between 5 and 6 p.m. And, you know, anyone living in this city knows that you're just going to be stuck in traffic no matter what. And in particular, this highway is always busy and crowded. So anyway, so I'm sitting in traffic and it's packed like sardines. So, you got that stop and go, hitting the brakes constantly. So I am sitting in traffic and I realize that I'm caught behind an 18-wheeler, which I don't like being around big trucks when I'm driving. So I always try to just get far away from them as I possibly can. So anyway, so I'm sitting in traffic and we're stop and go. And I realize, I'm behind this 18-wheeler and I'm trying to get over into another lane so I don't have to be behind this 18-wheeler, but can't get over. So I pull up, we're doing the stop and go, and I pull up a little too close to the 18-wheeler. And even I heard a voice, whether it was mine or spirit or divine, just kind of reminding me, letting me know, hey, this is, you're too close to this truck. And I would normally never get that close to a truck or vehicle, and it's especially an 18-wheeler. So something was, and I was telling myself, well, we'll be moving soon, so I'll have some space between me and the 18-wheeler that's in front of me. Well, we weren't moving at all. We was just sitting there. And then I had this voice coming in my head. I heard something in my head telling me, to back up so I can have some room between me and the truck in front of me. But I didn't. I just sat there, several seconds more. And then it was me looking in my rearview mirror when I noticed, oh, there's an 18-wheeler truck behind me as well. But when I noticed the 18-wheeler truck behind me, I noticed that this truck was going really fast. And I couldn't understand, how is it that this 18-wheeler behind me could pick up such speed while sitting in traffic. And during that time, I heard another voice telling me to move. And I'm like, and I'm sitting there in the car like, should I move? Should I back up? And then I looked in the rearview mirror again and I saw this truck literally driving directly behind me, coming towards me. And I knew that this truck was going way too fast, first of all, to be in traffic. And I'm still trying to understand, how is it possible that an 18-wheeler could pick up such speed while we're sitting in traffic, stop and go traffic? And then I hear another voice that tells me to move now. So I quickly put my car into reverse. And at that time, I had a small car. I think it was a small, I think I had the Ford Focus then. My only American car. I had the Ford Focus then. So it's a small car. And I'm sandwiched in between two 18-wheelers. During this time, I hear the voice telling me to move now. So I back up, put the car in reverse. And then because I was in the far right lane, I was able to get on the shoulder and drive. What is interesting is that as I'm backing up to drive on the shoulder, because I knew that this 18-wheeler coming towards me was literally going to hit me and smash me in between two 18-wheelers. And so I began to, I back up and I just began to drive on the shoulder, the right shoulder of the highway. And when I tell you, I had to put a lot of pressure on the gas in order to really get away from this truck. Because for a moment, and this was before the Fast and the Furious, but I really felt like I was in a movie at some point, like I was trying to get away. And I was getting away, but this truck was going so fast, and I could see in my my driver mirror that this 18-wheeler barely missed the other 18-wheeler that was in front of me. When I say miss, like it wasn't even a foot difference. It was probably inches, just a few inches from hitting the 18-wheeler that was behind me was going to almost hit the 18-wheeler that was in front of me. Now, had I stayed there, I would have absolutely been crushed. Absolutely been crushed. But I listened to those voices telling me to back up, that I was too close for me to back up, to move now. And I tell you, I drove on that shoulder to me, it seemed like a minute, driving on the shoulder, trying to get away from this truck because it was on my ass at one point, but it was on my tail, seriously. And I had to, put even more pressure on the gas. And when at one point I thought that, okay, slow down, that I could, stop, but I couldn't. I had to keep driving. And what was crazy is that everybody else sitting in traffic saw what was happening. Those who was, in the far right lane saw what was happening, that I, in this little Ford Focus, driving on the shoulder as this 18-wheeler is trailing behind me. And eventually, the 18-wheeler was able to slow down and come to a stop. And as soon as I was able to, I got back into the right lane. But I must say, I was absolutely shaken because I could not understand how is it possible that an 18-wheeler could go that fast sitting in traffic. And it wasn't until the past few years that I've received a lot of downloads giving me clarity on certain situations. In this particular one with the 18-wheelers, God, divine creator, actually let me know that that was a spiritual attack to take me out, to actually kill me. Because when I've told this story before, most people think, oh, okay, it was a good thing you got out the way. It's like, but you don't understand. How is it possible that an 18-wheeler could go so fast sitting in stop-and-go traffic? Because it was from the devil to actually try to kill me. But had I not listened to my instincts, had I not had complete trust in what I was hearing, feeling, and seeing was truth, I would absolutely be dead today, without a doubt. So those stories was just a few in my life that where my instincts actually saved my life, truly saved my life. And all the other stories about driving on the highway and the vehicle losing its tire was too instinctual, where I knew I should slow down and to listen to the voice, even though I didn't understand why I was being told that. But I soon realized, shortly after hearing the voices, why I was told to do certain things, to follow certain instructions, because it was to save my life. It was completely to save my life. So I encourage all of you that when you have that gut feeling or you hear those voices telling you to do something, but you don't quite understand why, please listen, pay attention, be obedient, and follow the instructions, the guidance that you're given, because it's really to protect you. Anyway, that's it right now for now. Story time, how instinct saved my life. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming to my channel. I am Faithful. This is Jackie, and I hope everyone has a very happy, healthy holiday season. Until next time, take care of yourself.